Welcome everybody to the craziest challenge in the bladesmithing community. This is the 48-hour dagger challenge. Now the 48-hour dagger challenge was made by Niels Vandenberg, who is a master smith of the American Bladesmithing Society. And the whole challenge is, just like it means, make a dagger in 48 hours. Not take you 48 hours, but actually 2 days worth of hard-on forging, grinding, heat treating, handling, shaping, until you get a fully functional dagger. I am going to start by forging a tip on my dagger out of this piece of 1095. Now as I'm forging this down, I'm already seeing issues, and I just started. If you look at the tip, it's doing something called fish mouthing, which is where you have two pieces of steel that start overlapping and causing cold shuts. That's bad. Second, when I was forging this down, I've already noticed the cold shut where it folded over because the steel is so thin. But we're going to continue forging it anyway, see if we can fix that. We're going to get our taper going on the edge of the dagger by just hammering down on it. Now I'm going to start making the tang. I'm only going to forge in the tang a little bit. I'll just cut it down the side and grind it the rest of the way, just because it's much quicker. I'm going to do 2 thermal cycles really quickly and then quench it in the oil. I'm trying to do this as fast as possible. Tang was a little bit warm when I put it in there. That's why it exploded in the ball of flame, which is cool. But after looking at it, after the forging experience, the tip is just it's in too bad a shape. It's just that cold shut is literally taking up the whole tip of the blade. I cut it off and it was too short. It was only like a 4-inch blade. And I didn't like that, so I discarded the idea and I annealed this file while I was at it. And now we're just going to grind one to shape. As you see, it's going to be about a 5-inch dagger overall. We're going to have a nice cross guard, a really skinny handle, and the pommel is something we're actually going to change. It was originally going to be a round pommel like that, but then I changed it to more of a classic T-handle design. I'm going to sketch out the tang really quickly here, and sketch out the blade design, and we'll just cut it out with the angle grinder, then take it over to the 1x30 and get it all shaped up. I smelted this brass a few days ago, and now I'm going to cut it out and use that for our pommel. Now I shaped up our guard, and I'm going to get the dimensions off our ground up file. We're going to mark it on here, we're going to drill some holes, and then cut out the rest of it with a Dremel tool. I've never used the Dremel tool before until the 48-hour dagger challenge, just because I never had one. I ordered one just to see if it would really help, and actually hogging away material, especially out of this brass, worked really well. We're going to draw out the small holes for the handle. This is a chunk of cedar, old growth cedar. So here's one new thing I learned during this challenge. I've never cut threads before, and cutting threads into this brass pommel was super easy. I was truly surprised. I literally just tapped the switch and it cut the threads right in, you just unscrew it, and I was done. It took like 30 seconds. Then I cut a slot into the back of our tang, and I'm going to take a bolt and MIG weld it to the back. This is going to be a takedown dagger, which is something I've never done before either. I've never made a brass pommel either. I'm learning lots of new things in this challenge. Gonna mix up some red dye for our elk hide spacers. Just using some food coloring. While that's sitting, I'm going to polish up my dagger to 1000 grit on the belts. And then I'm going to wash it nice and clean, and we'll gun blue it. Really shiny. Looking nice. I'm going to plop this into a gun bluing solution for about an hour and 30 minutes. And in the meantime, I'm going to work on the handle and clean up the spacers and the guard and pommels more. We're going to hand sand this to 320 grit. I'm not going to go any higher than that just because of time's sake. At this point, I'm about 20 hours in. I'll hand sand the pommel and guard to 800 grit because it's brass, and I really like that nice shine. Our blade is looking really nice. I'm going to let it sit here and dry, and then I'll clean it up in a little bit. But in the meantime, we're going to use this walnut stain. We're going to give this a nice walnut stained handle. We're going to apply 2 different coats. And we'll let that sit for about an hour. Then we'll wax. After assembling, it's time for the final pieces, and practically the most important pieces. These are my wisdom teeth, which were pulled out of my face a few weeks ago. Now, they're kind of beat up. A few of them are in pretty good shape. So what we're going to do is we're going to drill some holes in these, and we're going to hang them from the pommel. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope y'all really enjoyed. And if any of you guys really want to do this challenge, it comes around once a year, and I highly recommend you get into it. It's a really great way to improve your craft, get yourself up in the big game. Again, thanks for watching, and you all have a great one.